Okay, gonna do something I haven't done in quite a long time. I'm gonna do a walking vlog review. Okay, so I have a different kind of review for you guys this time. This time it's a science fiction review. This time I'm reviewing The Psychology of Time Travel by Kate Mascarenhas. I think that's the correct name of the author. I could be wrong. I just remembered that her last name was something that sounded like mascara. But anyways, this clocks in at about 336 pages. And I have a thing for time travel books. I've read a lot of the big time travel books like Timeline by Michael Crichton, H.G. Wells, The Time Machine, The Time Traveler's Wife, and I'm probably going to refer to that about this book at one point. But this one was okay. It was a pretty average read for me. Never heard of this author before. This is my first time reading this author. And one of the things I found interesting about this book at first was they set up the rules of time travel. And for instance, like, you cannot travel before the creation of the machine, and you can travel anywhere into the future, I think up to 300 years or something, I think is what they were saying. There's like different rules, and then the culture of this time, because in this world, time travel was invented in the late 60s by a group of women who are later going to be referred to as the pioneers. And that was another thing I kind of noticed about this book. It was really biased, like all the time travelers were only women, which I didn't really notice until I got to like near the end of the book. And I thought that was kind of weird that all the time travelers would only be women. So I had to throw that out there. It was just an observation about the book. But yeah, like I said, it was pretty average read, and when it comes to the rules that they lay out in this book about time travel, and one of the other things they mention is that there is no such thing as a paradox. You cannot change anything in the future, or in the past. Things just cannot be changed. Like, you can go and observe events, and one of the things they like to do for fun, I guess, is one of the ladies likes to go and watch her wedding, and many versions of herself will be at her wedding, observing her wedding, which is kind of weird, and kind of made me think, like, if you're going to have this world and all these rules of time travel, why would a government fund a time travel organization if you can't change anything, and all you can really do is just observe things? So I thought that was kind of lame, that all they can do is just really observe like things in the future. Like, they could tell when somebody was going to die and how they died and all that, and yeah, so there is a mystery when you get to about halfway point. I think the author tries to make the book a little more interesting by throwing in a mysterious death, and she spends about a good amount of this mysterious death just kind of trying to figure out, like, some of the characters. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. There were way too many characters in this book. Like, I don't know why there's so many characters introduced, and then different time periods. Like, there's the pioneers, and then there's the new time travelers, which are called wenches, and yeah, so like you get introduced to all these different characters. Some characters are only there for like a few chapters maybe, or a few paragraphs, and then they're gone. So it was kind of hard to keep up and kind of remember everybody's names, but you will tend to see the same names over and over again after a while. So yeah, this whole mysterious death, like, they wasted way too much time trying to point out the obvious, which what happened, because it is a book about time travel. It's kind of obvious when they describe the scene that this person was murdered by a time traveler, and they wasted way too much time on trying to figure out what happened with that. And then once they find out what happens, it was just pretty much wrapped up super quick. So it didn't even really make for a really interesting mystery kind of aspect to the book. I thought it was really kind of filler, more or less. And that's another thing I didn't really care about the book, was there's a lot of drama filler. This is where I'm gonna refer to Time Traveler's Wife. There was some aspects of it that kind of reminded me of the Time Traveler's Wife, because, except, there's like there is a representation of LGBTQ in this book. There are some lesbians, and there is a character who is a lesbian, which kind of reminded me of the Time Traveler's Wife. And they have this relationship where they kind of bounce into each other every once in a while through time travel, and I thought that was kind of interesting. So, yeah. It was an okay read. I mean, it could have been better. There are very much better time travel books out there. If you're looking for something to, kind of pass the time and read about time travel. But like I said, there are so many other better books about time travel out there. Most of it was kind of drama, though, which I kind of... Oh, and another thing I kind of found absurd, like when I'm going back to why would a government fund such a organization like this, it just seemed kind of silly, because if they can't change anything, what's the whole point of them having this organization to be funded by the government and all that? So I thought it was really kind of lame in that regards, because you can't change time. I mean, they lay that out in the first, the beginning first quarter of the book, so like the rules of time travel and all that. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, if you guys want to check it out, I will have a link to Amazon down below, of course, as always. And I'm going to see if it's on bookshop.org for you international folks. I'm going to throw out my coffee link if you got something from watching this video. Buy me a coffee or two. And if you came here looking for book reviews and book recommendations, please hit that subscription button and hit that notification bell so you're well aware of when I upload again. This has been Dan. This has been The Psychology of Time Travel. Really meh book. It was okay. But yeah. Later.